Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. My name is Haley. For today's video, I've had a couple of questions from my subscribers about my breast reduction that I mentioned in my previous get to know me video. I'm going to be doing my makeup. I'm not going to really get into too much detail about the makeup I'm using. However, I am using new makeup. I might commentate here and there about the different makeup that I'm using, but this video is just going to be a story time about my breast reduction experience. It's been going on 2 years now since I've had it. And yeah, so if you're ready to see what I do to this face and hear my story, hear any tips, I know there's a lot of girls out there who have big breasts, a lot of girls, a lot of women, and I know a lot of people have been thinking about it. Please leave me any questions down in the comment box below. I hope I get to cover every step that I had till I got to the point of getting my surgery. So yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this video so you can be a part of the HD family. Thumbs up, and okay, so let's talk boobies. So I started going, let me take my glasses off. Oh, I didn't do my eyebrows. I'm actually gonna do my eyebrows off camera because that's gonna take up a lot of time. So I'm gonna do my eyebrows, and then the next clip I'll have my eyebrows on, and then we'll get right back into the story. Thing I'm gonna put on is this blue serum eye cream from Chanel. I'm hoping this is for moisturization, but this is another thing my sister sent me and I have no instructions for it, so you know, I just kind of do what I do. I first started growing boobs when I was in 3rd grade, and when I say growing in 3rd grade, I mean like it would start to be noticeable. If I can remember exactly, and I wish I had pictures of when I was younger. I was probably like an A going to like a B cup. Like I had a little, like, you know, I had more than mosquito bites. So, you know, that started growing. And I don't remember too much like how I was dealing with that or talking about that. I just remember me buying my first like bra and underwear sets, and there were these pink and blue ones, and they came in a pair. And I thought they were the cutest things ever. I wore them till they, you know, they ripped. I think about 6th grade is when I really started noticing, okay, girl, you got some big boobs. Because in 6th grade, damn, this always puts way too much. I was like a C going on to a D in 6th grade. So they were definitely noticeable. Again, in middle school, I think I didn't like having big breasts because it was always like a subject to talk about. Like everyone talked about my boobs, and it was embarrassing, and I didn't want to be that center of attention. I got a lot of unwanted attention from older men. I got a lot of unwanted attention from girls. I got a lot of unwanted attention from boys. It was just like it was horrible. So moving on to 8th grade, by 8th grade I was rocking those double D's. Like 8th grade, I was really big. I don't know, like it's really hard. I don't really remember too much of how I dealt with having big boobs in middle school. I've never used this foundation before. It's the Too Faced foundation, the Too Faced Born This Way foundation in the color Maple. I'm just gonna try it out. Hopefully it's my shade. Okay, so let's see. So 8th grade passes, so freshman year. Now freshman year, that's really when the big breast kind of like kicked into gear, because now I'm definitely, you know, high school, you're dealing with older people, you're dealing with like, you know, all types of people. So of course I'm super nervous being a freshman going to a new school, and my first thought is like, I'm gonna be that girl who everyone knows for the big boobs. And I knew that that was inevitable because I was just so big. So my first thing I did when I got to high school is I joined a cheerleading team. I knew that that was somewhere that I fit, and I mean, the biggest way to deal with my back problems, because I had very like, even to this day, you know, most people, we slouch. Like that's kind of like, you know, not everybody sits up perfectly straight, but me having so much, I had so much weight on my chest, like there was nothing else to do but to slouch. And like I would sit like this, like crouched up all the time because it was so much weight, like having to sit up straight. But so when I did cheerleading, that really helped because I was able to gain I gained a lot of back muscle. High school, like first, like at sometimes, of course, it was fun because when I was interested in a boy, or that's when they were fun because of course it's like, hey, look what I got here, and like, you just hope that that person will be comfortable with what they see and who you are too. And there's plenty of times, like I know that there's plenty of times that a lot of boys just talk to me because I had big breasts, and like that really sucked. So I used to beg. I used to bring it up to my dad all the time. I used to be like, Dad, look, like my skin is ripping here, or Dad, I have these really bad stretch marks, or Dad, my back hurts. Like there's so many different things that I used to complain about and tell my dad, like, hey, like this is not fair, this is not right. And the craziest thing is my grandmother, like my dad's mother, like growing up, they're very religious, so they used to tell me, like, I got into a little bit of trouble when I was growing up as a kid, like every kid does, you get into trouble. And my grandmother used to tell me, like, oh, well, you got big boobs because that's God punishing you for the things that you do. And that was like a horrible thing to tell me, on top of me not even liking my breast and me being uncomfortable. Like it was just a simple fact that, like, you can't wear whatever you want to wear, because then you're either exposing yourself too much, or if you try to cover up, then it's like, ew, why is she wearing a sweater when it's hot? Just stuff like crazy stuff like that. It's just being comfortable in your own skin. Like the first thing you saw when you saw me wasn't me, you saw big old breasts, and like I was very unproportionate too. That was my biggest issues too, is because I didn't even have a big butt. It was like big boobs, little waist, no butt, no hips, like straight stick. Like that's what made it even worse, because I'll turn sideways and it would be just like big old chest and then no booty. So that really sucked. Oh, so when I came to the doctor, like when I used to go to the doctor when I was younger, and he would be like, okay, bring it up, tell him. And I would tell the doctor, hey, I think my breasts are too big for my body, blah, blah, blah. And they used to tell me, well, you're not, your body's still developing. You don't want to make a big change and then end up regretting it. They used to tell me that my body's still changing, so you don't know, like your body might grow into your boobs. But me, like I had the breasts of a 80-year-old fat woman. So to me, it's like, I'm 15 years old. At one point is my body going to catch up with my breast? It didn't make sense to me. For concealer, I'm using the NARS matte concealer in the color Caramel. I'm just gonna apply it with my fingers and then blend it out with a sponge. Another thing I used to hate when I was in high school too is, like, I used to tell everybody, thinking that my dad was gonna let me get the reduction, I used to tell everybody, like, yeah, we're gonna go to the doctor and the doctor's gonna tell me this, and, you guys know I'm gonna get that reduction and everything, and it never happened. I was so disgusted with myself, like so disgusted. I used to hate taking, like, let alone thinking about boys. This is just me as a person, like as a woman. Like I hate putting on clothes. I could not have a bra on, because then my boobs would just be swinging everywhere. Like they would be everywhere, and that put even more pressure on my skin and even more pressure on my back. So it was like no escaping, and I was like, I know this isn't right. So like the biggest issues that I had personally with having big boobs was my self-confidence and trying to be comfortable with wearing perfectly normal clothes and being the age that I was, but not having the body. Another thing that I really hated was, and then just the pain, like the physical pain. My skin was stretching here, my skin was stretching in the middle. My bra straps used to be so indented in my skin. Like it would feel so good to take my bra off, but even then I would want to hold them just to not feel the strain on my chest. It was ridiculous. Moving forward, I graduate high school, still no breast reduction. So, time goes by, life goes on, and eventually I get pregnant. And well, okay, so before my pregnancy, before I got pregnant, I would look up doctors and I would search up how much it costs to get a breast reduction. And before I knew that there was insurance that was able to cover it, I was like, okay, somehow I'm gonna get a job and I'm gonna save up all this money so I can get a breast reduction. And then when I got pregnant, it was like, okay, milk was coming in and I was getting fatter. So of course my boobs were getting even bigger. And I was like, I cannot do this. My daughter is born and I'm trying to breastfeed her. And my daughter, when she was born, she was 5 pounds, 8 ounces. She wasn't premature. She was just a little tiny little baby. It used to be so hard to breastfeed her because I would have to hold my own boob up just so I don't suffocate my own child trying to feed her. So the doctor, before I get confirmed, before I get accepted for my breast reduction, I went to a doctor and everything went through. He accepted my insurance. I go in with Siri because of course I was a single mom. I go in with Siri and he asks me a couple questions, gives me the rundown about the surgery. And then he tells me, well, when are you trying to have this surgery? And I'm like, as soon as possible. Whenever you can schedule me, whenever everything goes through, let me know. And he recommended, like, he kind of turned me down and said that he wasn't gonna do my surgery because my daughter was so young. I was breastfeeding her and I would have had to stop breastfeeding and to cater to her. And even on top of that, because he's like, I'm not the one to tell you what to do with your children or whatever, but once you have this surgery, you won't be able to cater and tend to her as much as you want to. So it's something to think about. Like, should you wait until she's more able to be on her own? I was really upset when I left that appointment. But I still was not giving up because I was determined. I was like, yo, I'm going to get this reduction. I'm going to have surgery. And then I find this doctor named Dr. Mark Polcritti, and it was in Spring Hill, Florida, which was the craziest thing ever because Spring Hill is a very small town in Florida, city in Florida. And it was where I very first moved to when I moved to Florida. So it was weird that I was ending up back where I had started. But anyway, the doctor's name was Mark Polcritti, and I went to the doctor's appointment. I had the consultation. He told me the same exact thing that every other doctor told me, and I was like, hey, I know the steps. I practically knew the surgery. I knew everything that needed to be done. That's how much I was researching it. That's how much I was so into, like, getting this surgery. So, and then this doctor, he ends up accepting my insurance. Oh no, this time I actually end up not bringing my daughter. I didn't bring my daughter to this doctor's appointment because I didn't want them to turn me down because of her. So I didn't bring her in, and then everything went through. And I was so excited that he was telling me, hey, yes, you can have this surgery. So by that point, everything really felt so surreal. What else did we do? And then I had my test. I had to do a couple blood work. He did my measurements and stuff. My ultimate goal is I wanted to be a C cup. I want it to be like at least a full C from the triple D. But since my surgery was covered by insurance, I didn't have a say on how much was going to be taken out. So, at the end of the day, I was just excited that I was actually, getting the surgery. And then we had to send all that information, all the pictures, my measurements, and all that stuff to my insurance company so they can approve it and get it paid for. So my thought was like, okay, they're gonna approve it, but I'm gonna have to pay for like the medicine or the anesthesia or something like that. But I ended up getting a call back from my insurance, like not even a month later, and they were like, hey, yeah, you got approved for your surgery. I was like, great. So I called back the doctor and I was like, hey, we're good to go. And then he set my appointment, and my appointment was first set for October 1st. I keep forgetting that I'm supposed to be doing my makeup at the same time while I'm talking. I'm really sucking at this multitasking. I could have just, did my story. But anyway, so we got approved, and then October 1st was my first original date for my surgery. And then somehow that got mixed up. Whoever had set the appointment didn't save it into the computer, I guess, or that's what I was told. And then I got it rescheduled for October 27th. From the time I was told I got approved to the day of my surgery, I was just in complete like relief, disbelief. Like I was shocked, because something that I've been waiting for my whole entire life, like something that I dreamed about, that I never thought that I was going to be able to, you know, put on a tank top and look normal, I was able to get my surgery. My biggest thing, like, I was scared about the surgery was, I was like, oh my gosh, I watched a lot of, I don't know if you guys know the show Botched, but I watched a lot of that show before my surgery, and I just kept seeing all the things that doctors were doing wrong and stuff, and I was like, oh my god, what if one of my nipples are like way up here and the other one's like way over here? Like, what if I don't wake up? Because I've never been put to sleep. I've never been put down before. So like, what if I don't wake up? Those are like my only two main main concerns that I was thinking about. But other than that, like, I was so ready. I was so ready to be, new me. The day of surgery, we get in, we check in. They set me up, they put me in the clothes, my socks. I don't remember how long it took before I actually went in for the surgery, but my stepmother was the one who took me to the hospital for my surgery. And I remember when they put the mask over me to go to sleep, they asked me something, and then immediately I was knocked out. Next, I woke up, and it was my mom. She was waking me up. She's like, Haley, wake up. She was trying to wake me up. And I was like, the first thought in my head was like, are they gone? Like, and I couldn't feel anything, of course, because I was coming off a lot of medicine. But my first thought was like, are they gone? They gave me some, They gave me some medicine. For the pain. They gave me this boobie machine. I actually had a boob machine that massaged my my breast. It was supposed to help with like faster healing. That's what I was told, that it helped with faster healing. But yeah, I wore that for, like, I was supposed to wear it for 2 weeks. I never took the bandages off early, but I took the machine off because it was this big old bulky thing that I didn't want to have to constantly carry around. I'm not sure what medicine they gave me because I didn't take it for long. I'm not a big pill person, like not even like what's it called, ibuprofen and stuff like that. I can't really take it, or I can take it, but it feels like I never like really feel a difference after I take pills, and that's I love my breasts. Like, honestly, that experience was the best thing that's ever happened in my life. I advocate all girls who are going through that struggle of needing to go smaller and needing to decrease their size because of pain, because of insecurities, for real. The only issues that I had after my surgery was I couldn't pick her up that much, because you don't want, like, after your surgery, you don't want to lift your arms too much, or even just lift, I think it was like 15 or 10 pounds. It wasn't like excruciating pain. Like, you're not gonna feel excruciating pain. It's more of just like a lot of pressure, and so like you're sore a little bit. Okay, so my camera died mid recording this, and it really sucks because I was anticipating for this video to be even better than what I did, but I finished my makeup. I just wanted to say, like, for girls who are going through the struggle of, who are not comfortable with their bodies, like, I just want to make sure, like, you're always supposed to love yourself. You're supposed to love who you are. I did it because I was going through a lot of pain. Like, the biggest problem was the physical pain. And like I said, I'm not a big girl, so growing up, having that weight on my chest, I still have those stretch marks. They don't go away. I have scars from the surgery because I had an anchor incision, so they cut me from my breast down, and then they cut me in a loop, so it was down in a loop. Scarring, it doesn't bother me because the only person who sees it is my boyfriend when I take my shirt off. So they have definitely faded over time though. When I first had them, they're really strong and really you could really see them, but now they're kind of faded away and they don't bother me at all. My sisters and I joke about them being my battle scars and what I went through, because I spent a lot of nights crying, like crying my eyes out, because I was getting called melon top. I was getting called, you know, I was so busty in the chest. It brought so much attention to myself that people didn't know Haley because of Haley being like a cool, fun girl, or Haley, like, you know, people didn't know Haley. They just knew, oh yeah, that girl Haley with the big boobs. Like, that was always something that they added in there, and I didn't want to be known for that. And most of all, I knew I was not going to be happy completely with myself if I didn't get that change, because I couldn't wear tank tops and bathing suits. To find bathing suits, even to this day, with having the size I have now, like, it's so hard to find something that covers you up enough, gives you enough support, because if they're big, they're going to be heavy. They're going to have some type of gravitational pull on them, and you know, the bigger they are, the stronger it's going to be. My breast reduction was the best decision that I made in my entire life, and you know, I still got so much more life to live, but overall story is my insurance, thank God, paid for it. I went from a 28E to now a 34 double. It depends on what bra I'm wearing, but I definitely, like, my problem too when I had big boobs is that I had so much skin. Like, it was so much skin stretched out that I didn't even have that much inside my breast to begin with. So now it's like they're fuller, they sit up more. I mean, they told me that I wasn't gonna have, that I might not that I wasn't. They told me that. Shh. Okay, sit. They told me that I might not have had feeling any more sensation in my nipples, but honestly, like, too much information or not, like, I have more feeling in my nipples now than I did before. And I don't know if that's just me telling myself that, but I honestly, before, I felt like those things did not get hard, and maybe it was because I had so much, the nerves are so wore out. But now I couldn't ask for, why does this look, I have, do you see that? I got white stuff all over my shirt. Please don't tell me that picked up on the camera that I have white stuff all over my shirt. In my viewfinder, that's what it looks like, so hopefully it doesn't. But yeah, that's my story. Thank you guys so much for watching, so much for listening to my story. If you guys have any more questions, or if I didn't get clear enough, if I did a poor job at explaining, feel free to ask me any questions down in the comment box below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe